Let me put this here. Nope. Like that. Is this even working? Project Distortion World, entry number 1. A couple of months have passed and not much has been done. Working in the literal nothing isn't easy at all. And delivering what's in my mind into Minecraft isn't that simple. Mainly because my mind is a mess of ideas. Just like the Distortion World is. As they say, Jacob, if you want to start something, okay, do it. But well, you should start with a spawn island and from there on you can do your thing. La 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 la. It is good day to be in Distortion World. But wait, portal connecting from another world is cracking on somewhere. And these are pretty cool pieces of random rubble hanging around in the middle of the void. Boom! Portal spawning rock. Rock get cracked from the inside. I like the fact that every time I come to the project I have to pass through the consequences of my journey into the dimension. Details like these make the world feel alive and apparently subject to changes. After brainstorming for a little bit with my friend Barratina, we concluded that such spawn was kinda epic. Despite having spent too many hours shaping, coloring, scaffolding, illuminating and such, everything you see and will see in the future entries is subject to changes and improvements. May you keep that in mind. The goal of this building of enormous proportions will be to admire it, not to contain a storage or farm, but a territory. When entering it, I want a passage through it to be able to travel through, and that's the next step to take. Quite next to the first isle, a waterfall. One end of it at the very bottom of the conglomerate of many isles that form the environment, and the other one somewhat high. Both ends connect with land, meaning I may take any of both paths, swim up or down. The magnetic fields of what constitutes the pieces of flying stone should allow me to choose. Speaking of the devil, the spawn island shifts the waterfall's shape as its magnetic field influences a little bit on it. If you didn't know, there's a way to shape water at your will with certain limitations. By making water not flow towards the desired direction, a piston arm must be blocking such direction, grappling a slime or honey block. A block of obsidian must be connected to an extension of the slime or honey structure, and at a location where it will block the slime or honey to be pulled into. Once the redstone signal goes off, the piston will retract with nothing. Now that we have tricked the game into thinking that the water side should be blocked, if we planned it correctly, we can get rid of the piston, obsidian and slime blocks without fear of updating the water block. This method allows us to manipulate some water shapes. I emphasized on some because supporting blocks are needed for great masses of water. Thus I had to resort to use blue glass blocks to have some control over the water. It's not the most desirable outcome, but this is what vanilla survival allows us to do. The good part is that fast swimming through the wall will be a thing without requiring godlike maneuvers to swim up. The glass doesn't trigger an alarm in my brain after having eye contact with it, so I regard the method used as not bad, unless I played with the connected textures turned off. Luckily for me, I needed Optifine to play this game with acceptable performance anyways. Where were we? Yes, I won't do the water thing here just yet, cause the top part is not defined yet. Unlike the bottom one. So here we have some land that will contain water flowing through it, with some shores for me to peep around on. The soil in Pokemon Blood is red and I have good old and cheap netherrack that does the trick. As for the riverbed, well, it's mainly tough, coal ores, gravel, and with some smooth basalt and Acacia hay once in a while. When I created the shape with only tough, it looked like a giant bird shit, but patience paid off and the result is how I imagine a riverbed, filled with more little rocks or sediments and with more sturdy ones clogged in the soil. There's one problem though. This river keeps getting narrower and it may flood, and that's what happens. Some of it will flow over the edge and literally fall down into the nothingness. Or not. It will just flow and go nowhere cause I and my pistons tricking the gods, cause gravity says so. As a result, some of it will flow down the river, the rest will just hang around. No one said this was a good place to settle a fisherman cottage. We have some stones sticking out the river because I want to, and that's basically it. I still have to plan the origin of the water source, decorative details like trees, other rocks, dead plants, and the stalactites underneath the whole thing like in the spawn island. I know it's not much, but this is only the first update on the project and there's many more to come. I like to think the following: the more time I put on it, the better the result. The fact it's taking so much time to do so little isn't necessarily negative. Little things like redefining the shape of the flowing water so that it doesn't look like a fucking square, or brainstorming what I can do with a simple river. The water flows over here and on this spot, place a wall to change sides. These take time. but are worth nonetheless. Anyways, if you have any interesting suggestions, feel free to share them in the comments. I hope this recording made your day somewhat better, and see you in the next update.